Now I am going to talk about types of chemical reaction. So there are four types of chemical reaction. First is combination reaction, second is decomposition reaction, third is displacement reaction, fourth one is double displacement reaction. So first of all we will talk about what is a chemical combination reaction. In this reaction, two or more reactants combine to form a single product. So whenever in a reaction two reactants or two or more reactants combine together to form a single product, we term that reaction as a combination reaction. Like in the formation of water, hydrogen gas and oxygen gas combine together to form a single product, that is water, which is liquid in state. Similarly, the formation of limestone is also a combination reaction, and the formation of limestone takes place by the combination of quicklime, that is calcium oxide, with carbon dioxide. So it is an example of combination reaction. Now the second type of chemical reaction is decomposition reaction. In decomposition reaction, a compound splits into two or more substances by applying heat, light or electricity. So for a decomposition reaction, we require energy in the form of heat, light or electricity, and the decomposition reaction is reverse of the combination reaction, because in this reaction a compound breaks down into two or more simpler substances. Therefore, these reactions are also termed as endothermic reaction because they require energy to carry out their processes. So the example of decomposition reaction is when ferrous sulfate is heated, it converts into Fe2O3, that is ferric side, plus sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. So here the green color of ferrous sulfate changes to brown color on heating. The next example is the conversion of silver chloride into silver plus chlorine gas. So here this decomposition of silver chloride takes place in the presence of light, where the white color silver chloride changes into grayish white silver metal. The third type of chemical reaction is displacement reaction. So in displacement reaction, one element displaces one element, which is more reactive element displaces a less reactive element from its compound. So in displacement reaction, the reaction depends upon the reactivity of each element. So displacement reaction, so this is a reactivity series where the above metal like potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium are the most reactive metals, whereas copper, mercury, silver, gold are the least reactive metal. So in displacement reaction, according to their reactivity, a more reactive metal displaces a reactive element from its compound. Like the example is when copper sulfate reacts with magnesium, it leads to the formation of magnesium sulfate and copper. Here the magnesium is more reactive as compared to copper, therefore magnesium displaces copper from its compound to form magnesium sulfate and copper metal. Similarly, the second reaction is where iron reacts with hydrogen chloride to form iron chloride plus hydrogen. So here also, according to reactivity series, iron is more reactive than hydrogen, therefore iron displaces hydrogen from hydrogen chloride to form hydrogen gas. Now the fourth type of chemical reaction is double displacement reaction. In this reaction, exchange of ions takes place between two compounds to form two new compounds. In this reaction, an insoluble substance precipitates out, therefore it is also known as precipitation reaction. So in double displacement reaction, generally exchange of ions takes place between the two compounds which are reacted in a chemical reaction, and here a precipitate formation takes place, therefore these reactions are also termed as the precipitation reactions. Like the example is when silver nitrate treated with sodium chloride, it leads to the formation of AgCl, which precipitates out in white color, whereas it also leads to the formation of sodium nitrate. The second example is when copper sulfate reacts with hydrogen sulfide, it leads to the formation of copper sulfide, which is precipitate out as a black PPT and hydrogen sulfate. So here in this reaction, the copper 2 plus ion reacts with sulfide ion to form copper sulfide, whereas the hydrogen ion reacts with sulfate ions to form hydrogen sulfate. So that's how the exchange of ions takes place between the two compounds that are taking part in a chemical reaction. Now I am going to talk about what are oxidation and reductions reactions. So first of all, we will talk about oxidation. Addition of oxygen to a substance or removal of hydrogen from a substance is termed as oxidation. Whereas what is reduction? Addition of hydrogen to a substance or removal of oxygen from a substance is termed as reduction. So whenever oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously in a single reaction, it is termed as a redox reaction. So redox reaction are those where oxidation and reduction are taking place simultaneously. They occur in a single reaction. So what are the oxidizing agent? Oxidizing agent are the substances which gives oxygen or removes hydrogen. Means oxidizing agents are the agents which reduce itself, whereas oxidizes others. Similarly, the reducing agent are the substances which gives hydrogen or removes oxygen from itself. So now the example of oxidation and reduction. First of all, when copper oxide is treated with hydrogen, it leads to the formation of copper and water. Here the copper oxide carries out the removal of oxygen to form copper. Therefore, the removal of copper is termed as a reduction. Whereas the oxygen is added in hydrogen to form water, so it is termed as an oxidation. So here copper oxide is getting reduced to copper, whereas hydrogen is getting oxidized to hydrogen water. So copper oxide is an oxidizing agent because it is reduced itself and it is oxidized hydrogen. The next example is when H2S hydrogen sulfide reacts with chlorine, it forms sulfur plus hydrogen chloride. So here the removal of hydrogen takes place from hydrogen sulfide to form sulfur, therefore it is termed as oxidation, whereas the addition of hydrogen to chlorine to form HCl is termed as reduction. So these two examples are the examples of redox reaction because here the oxidation and reduction both are taking place simultaneously. Now what are the effects of oxidation reactions in everyday life? First effect is corrosion of metal and next is the rancidity of food. So what is corrosion? When a metal is attacked by air, moisture or chemical on their surface, it corrodes and this process is known as corrosion. Like rusting of iron. When iron is treated with oxygen in the presence of water, means in the moist atmosphere, it leads to the formation of iron oxide which is known as a rust. Rust means jung lagna. Then corrosion mainly occurs by the oxidation of metal by oxygen of air. Means generally the oxygen present in air causes the oxidation of metals due to which they corrode and it damages our buildings, bridges and various metals. Like blackening of silver is also termed as the corrosion of metals. The next topic is rancidity. The effect of oxidation leads to the rancidity of food. So what is rancidity? When fats and oils present in the food gets oxidized by the oxygen of air, they become rancid. So whenever the fats and oils that present in the food, they get oxidized, so they have an unpleasant smell and taste, and then we can say that they become rancid. So how we can protect our food to become rancid? So there are some various methods. That is, first is the adding antioxidant to food. Antioxidants are the substances which protect or prevent the oxidation of some material or substance. So therefore, if we add an antioxidant to our food, then they can prevent the oxidation. Next is by adding nitrogen gas in chips. So if we initially fill nitrogen gas in chips, then the oxidation will not take place. The third is by storing them in airtight containers so that they cannot come in contact with oxygen to rancid them. Therefore, these are the methods by which we can protect our food from to become rancid.
Yeah.